Hey everybody, thank you so much for the warm welcome back to YouTube. Thank you for those comments. They mean the world to me. And to the dearest friends who have said they've seen the last video and wonder if I'm okay, I am. The truth is, this lifestyle is not for the weak. It's not. And we live very inconveniently in a fast-paced convenience culture. And that's very difficult, but that's another YouTube video to stay tuned for. We will actually share a little bit about that. But for those who don't know me, I'm Jennifer. We are the Peppers family. We are Georgia born and raised, and now we are deeply rooted in the hills of Northeast Tennessee and thankful for it. I miss a lot of my people from Georgia, but I'm also glad to be up here near my mama. They've been up here for a long time. I've been coming up to this area, this property, since I was 8. So lots of roots here. I believe the Lord led us here to live. We've been here for almost 5 years. So although it is hard, it is beneficial. And I think that it is, something that God wants us to do. And speaking of being close to my mama, although my busy schedule keeps us from hanging out like I'd like, I do know that if I ever need her, she's right there. And if she needs me, I'm right here. And if I do ever need her, she'll be coming down that hill with probably a jar for homemade chicken soup. If I ever need my stepdad, he'll be down here with either a shotgun or a homemade herbal cough medicine of some sort, depending on the need. So that leads me into the topic of the day. Jeff and I have experienced some home apothecary type remedies that we've seen such great benefit from, that we have really desired to start exploring that more. What our schedules and a recent back injury that I'll explain in a minute, and just times, budget, schedules, other things like that have prevented us from doing outside. It has sort of caused us to think about what we can be doing inside, still building skill sets, still learning to be less dependent on external sources to get our needs met. So I do believe there are things that are provided for us naturally that we should really take advantage of. Not saying that we should not be going to doctors or using other medicines, not giving discredit to that at all. But I have seen the benefit of things we can do at home. Maybe it's something that you can treat naturally and lessen your trips to the doctor, or maybe it's something that you can give yourself some relief until you can get to a doctor. So we have seen the benefit of a couple of different things, which has got us really just wanting to know more. My parents actually gave us a book of natural home remedies that we are really exploring. And since we have seen the benefit, like my stepdad had made us some cough medicine one of the last times we were sick, and it worked better than anything else. That got our attention. But not only that, my son was injured in football his junior year, and while he did need surgery, like I said, not discounting what doctors can do, he did need surgery to repair that. But I did make a poultice for him that gave him a little bit of relief in between doctor's visits. So having seen the real life tried and true benefits of things like that, that's sort of what we're going to work on right now. And while we do not know a whole lot, I'll be honest with you, I really know very little about this stuff. I want to learn. There's a desire to learn. I believe there's a need for it, and we're just going to bring you along for it. So there may be things that you have experienced and tried, and if you want to share that with us, I'd be grateful for the information. So leave that in the comments for me or send me an email. But what I want to talk about today is Comfrey, since I have that growing outside. That is something that I've actually been growing here for the last couple of years. I have utilized it in the form of poultice, like I mentioned, for my son's knee. I've actually put it on my back to get some relief. The back injury I've got was sustained during doing immense work during disaster relief. Some of you know that our area was hit very hard and flooded by Helene last year. Our church did a lot of disaster relief efforts, and that too is another video. But the reason I mention it is because I believe with all of that, and a lot of unloading supply trucks, loading people's cars, carrying boxes full of supplies, carrying propane tanks, things that I can physically do, but I guess I've done something wrong, and I now have a herniated disc in my back. So surgery has been brought up by my doctor a couple times. I don't know if I'm going to go that route, but nevertheless, I am getting some relief using Comfrey. So Comfrey, like I said, is something I grow here. I am thinking about exploring more than the poultice. I've actually had the benefit of using a Comfrey salve that I actually purchased from a YouTuber, and this has worked very well for different things, not just back pain, but I have used this on sunburn. Felt wonderful, like the sting on my shoulders after working outside. Put this on there. It was gone the next day. I have used this on, my dog had a little injury on her ear. It was very raw and angry and sore looking. I put some of this on that, just scabbed over and looking so much better the next day. Had a dog bite on my finger that I had actually been treating with. I cleaned it out really good. It was a very small bite, but just one little tooth nick on my finger, but it started feeling like it's getting infected. It started being more and more sore, and I'm thinking, what's going on? I'm using triple antibiotic on it. I'm keeping it clean. I used Comfrey on it once, and by the next day, it was the angry redness and went down, and it felt much better. So I've tested it. I've put it to the test. I've used it in different forms, different type of injuries, and it says it's good for bones and joints, but it's really good. It sort of renews the skin. So like I said, sore spots, burns, things like that, minor things. I'm not saying I would use it on something extreme, but great for those minor things that you just want a quick relief from and a natural relief from. The only things that are in this are olive oil, beeswax, and comfrey leaf. That's it. There's nothing synthetic about it. I feel good about using something like that. Anyway, I'm going to make my own, but if you don't want to do that, this is a good place to get some. This is desertrosesisters.com. They're out of Alabama, it looks like. I have used a good bit of this salve, and a little bit goes a long way. So I've had it for quite a while, but you can see how much we've used. We have put this to use. I love this stuff, but since I grow it, I'm going to start making it. So I wanted to bring you along for that, and that's what we're going to do today. So real quick, I wanted to show you what I did with the leaves after I cut them off the plant. I just hung them up here to dry. I don't have a freeze dryer, and I've read and heard that that's best. But the old-fashioned way of just hanging them up is going to be just fine. These hung for a couple weeks until they were fully dry. We also have some holy basil hanging up that we'll do something with another time. So what I ended up doing the other day was making 2 batches of salve from 2 different recipes. I used the recipe out of the book, and I also used the Desert Rose Sisters method. So theirs seemed to be ready to use faster, and I liked that idea. This recipe out of the book called for steeping your leaves in oil in the oven for about 90 minutes on its lowest setting. So I did that, and then it calls for you to let it sit for a couple weeks. So this has sat. This is what I made the other day, and this is ready to complete the process to make the salve. So that's what I'm going to actually do today with this, and then I'm going to demonstrate the other method. Now, this is in no way a tutorial because, like I told you in the very beginning of the video, I'm not an herbalist. I don't know what I'm doing necessarily, but this is the learning process. You learn by doing. So this is everything I need to finish out the salve today. I've got 1 cup of olive oil here to go with 1 ounce of beeswax, and then we'll use, I think it's 0.1 ounce of this Comfrey powder, And then this is my infused oil with 1 ounce of beeswax. And once they're done and melted together, I'm going to put them in these tins. These are just some old candle tins that I don't use for anything anymore. So those will be perfect salve containers. So this is all you need to make the salve, and it's super easy. So we have just a small pot to use as a double boiler. We've got the pint jar down inside, and all this is going to do is bring this up to a temperature to help infuse the oil with, you can see the comfrey, maybe you can see that, and the beeswax in there. And we're just going to stir that together until it's all incorporated, and then we'll pour it into the jars to cool. And for the other method, we're going to strain this oil. Look at that beautiful green color. Of course, olive oil is already green, but I think it's a little richer with those leaves. So we're going to strain this out, and then we will do the same thing with the oil and the beeswax. So there won't be any comfrey leaf in this one because we've infused the oil. So all the benefits of the leaves should be in the oil already. Look at that. That's neat. Okay, second batch is up. We're going to carefully pour this into our tin. Try not to make a mess. And I've got enough of both to fill up a third tin. So this one's going to have the best of both worlds. So there we have 3 more tins of comfrey salve. This one is the one with the ground up comfrey leaf in it. This is the infused oil, and this is sort of a blend of the both. But that's cool, huh? Well, thank y'all for hanging out with me while I learned something new and took the first steps of building our own home apothecary. I'm really excited about it. I'm looking forward to doing some more things. And if you want to hang out with me again, we're going to do something really cool with that holy basil that I've got. So thanks again for being here. Talk to you soon.